Thanks, I answered with a nod and a wide smile. My lips met the straw. I sucked in with the intention of curing my dry throat, and it quickly became apparent that I had been wronged. I asked for Diet Coke specifically, not Coke. It's hard to be a man these days. We're not taught the most important things, like demanding what we want or how to talk to girls. Everything I've ever tried to do, I had to do it myself. I read up on all there was to know about women. Anybody who has read the Wingman blog knows that in his 6 steps to scoring, one of them includes having a minimum of 15% body fat, and having a Coke instead of a diet doesn't constitute that. Although I had changed myself enough to get ready for picking up girls, I still didn't feel like I was fully ready. When I looked in the mirror this morning, I found that doing 100 sit-ups for 30 days didn't give me the 6-pack abs that I thought I would have by now, deflating the chance of confidence that I thought I would have by now. It doesn't matter that I looked at myself 100 times in the mirror with affirmations that I am a confident, attractive man. Part of that ritual does not include me, a man who orders Diet Coke, gets regular, and is afraid to go back. It didn't take long until I was able to spot potential targets. It's a packed mall on a Saturday, so it's not as if it's a dead zone like a bingo hall or a small-town bar after 2 a.m. My first attempt to get a number was with a duo of girls who I noticed were on the way to colliding with me. They may have been a couple of inches taller, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. As I opened my mouth to speak, I thought of the many different things I could say. Hey, I thought you were cute. What's up? How's it going? A great deal of bullshit terms. Instead, I opened my mouth and nothing came out. Hightailed by embarrassment, I rushed to the food court alone, a natural state in which I spent most of my high school years. Left sitting alone at a food court, wishing I had more confidence, home to a great deal of brightly colored chairs and tables. I don't think that any of them really matched each other. I'm pretty sure that the main design choice was to gather attention. As the tables and chairs came in, a fixture of excessively bright yellow, red, and orange, lacking any semblance of a cool tone. Whoever made it seemed to have high regard for attention. Yet nothing gathers the attention like a beautiful woman. It gathers long glances and fear. 2 things that, in my case, seem to go together hand in hand. I took out the 3 rules of the game from the worksheet webpage. Coming from my pocket, I had folded it in many pieces, leaving creases and lines spread across its body. I avoided the images of beautiful women that it claimed I could get if I bought the Become an Alpha Male course, and instead kept my eyes spread over the 3 rules of the game. 1. Approach any girl you find attractive. 2. When you face resistance, find a way around or through. 3rd, detach from the outcome of results. I had done everything else that was needed in terms of preparing on how to get a woman. I had even chosen a new name according to the website's rules. Actually coming up with it was harder than one might think. First, it can't be something that everybody else has already taken, and with the way that things have gone this year, 2003 seems to be the year that people actually make an attempt at growing beyond what was set for us. Mr. Shy Guy, but with a lot of members already on the forum, so many of the good names were already taken. Lucky, Pussy Destroy, and I Beat the Charges. There's not much left for me, so I choose clocks. I made sure that my attire was properly attached to my name. I wore 2 wristwatches, both on the same left wrist, and both of them held an extreme difference to one another. One was a fake Rolex I bought in Italy. The other was a gift that came with a box of Honey Nut Cheerios. Neither of them worked. Both of them were dope. I saw yet another target, a girl who was pretty enough to force me to move. She looked a little older than me by a couple of years, but for some reason, she looked like she had been dressed by somebody younger. Her hair was bright red, styled in a duo of ponytails, and she wore blue overalls over a plain white dress. Hey, sorry to bother you. I know this is weird. My name is Clocks, I stated. It felt as if I was speaking with 4 separate greetings. I didn't know how or why, but I just knew that there was supposed to be only one. Do you know where the hardware store is? I'm looking for some tools, I said as I extended my hand outward with an attempt at confidence. Hi, she answered with a hint of a smile. Her voice was high and friendly, keeping me surprised. Girls like Pretty usually recoil when I speak to them, immediately spotting lines like, I have a boyfriend. And I'm calling mall security. My boyfriend works in mall security. To be clear, the point of pickup is never to scare women. It's only to get them to sleep with me. It might sound creepy, but all guys want the same thing, but just have a different way of doing it. At one point, I used to think that I paused. Clocks. John Clocks. It felt stupid to say it, but what's dumber, having a nickname or being deathly afraid of actually using said nickname? Princess. That's my last name too, and my first, she answered with slow hesitancy. Princess of where? I asked as I took a seat, remembering, according to my pickup mentor, that I have to establish my dominance over any social marketplace. The mall? This is the mall, she answered, speaking as if it was a question. As her eyes settled on the Candyland, a store where middle schoolers go to buy licorice, and the best sativa in the city, she said. I like it. Lots of things to do, lots of places to go. I guess. It's cool for some people. High schoolers. I graduated last year and now I can see how lame that shit was, I said with a shrug as I attempted to remember rule number 3 of the game. Don't act like you care too much about anything. It was a rule that I found odd because there were many things that I cared about a lot. I care what people think of me. I care about woodworking. I care about my neighbor's son who reminds me of me when I was 12. Quiet and reserved. Except I didn't have a dad who yells all the time. I'm cool, huh? Princess's hand drifted towards my cup, taking an interest in it as if it were something she had never seen before. She sipped the straw. The black sludge of Coca-Cola met her lip, and once she finished, she smiled wide. Then immediately took multiple small sips. I hesitated to answer, remembering what the blog had said, that when a girl asks a basic question, never give her a basic answer. I've got to get to know you a little better, I answered with a casual shrug and a glance that only lasted for a moment. You spoiled little brat, a voice from behind me said. I turned, noticing that it was 2 cops, or at least it looked that way at first glance. One was dressed as if he was straight out of the pages of a 1940s detective novel. He wore a fedora and a pinstripe suit and chewed on a big cigar. The other was a woman who was clearly a mall cop. She wore a black clip-on tie over her tucked-in white shirt and a ponytail that was almost sexy. Seeing them together, I thought that maybe it was a badly managed couple's costume. Then I realized that I hadn't asked Princess's age and that I was a fool for not doing so. I'm not going back, Princess responded as she crossed her arms, leaning back into her chair. I'm Detective Paulo, the man in the pinstriped suit answered, spitting out his cigar as he spoke. The top end fell to the floor in a small explosion of tobacco and ash. The darkness from the ash padded outward. Detective Block? The woman answered. No. Stopped being an option a long time ago, Detective Paulo began. I was told no a lot more than you ever have been, Princess. You think you can just hear and do what? Soda, Princess answered. The other stuff's better, I clarified. So all 3 were aware of where I stood. Based on the way they were talking, perhaps aliens are a little bit too far of a guess. I'm thinking something close, perhaps Mormon. As I sat with all 3 of them, the reality of the situation began to set in. Two detectives were searching for Princess. She must have done something. She could have done something really bad to have detectives looking for her. She could commit murder or cybercrime, which could lead to horrible consequences. Now I'll never get laid. We should all just get along. Peace, harmony, love. Isn't that what this place is all about? Detective Block stated as she waved her hands in the air with a frantic pace, highlighting what appeared to be the exact opposite of the love and harmony that she claimed to cultivate. I shook my head as an answer, deeply confused by what exactly she meant by this place. If it was the mall or not, she leaned deeply towards the fact that she was probably talking about Earth. Sex? She questioned. I should probably go, I said as I took a step back. It was clear that I had bitten off more than I could chew. In fact, thinking that somebody like me could ever get girls in the first place seemed as if it was a massive waste of time. I had hoped that I would find a great girlfriend at the end of this process, not encounter what were either aliens or Mormons. You should probably stay. Fuck both of us. If you help us bring Princess back, definitely not Mormon. I know polygamous Mormons. They never speak that way to a stranger. Only to their third wife the day they got their first period. I turned back to where Princess was, realizing that nothing existed where she stood. Somehow she had managed to slip away, crafting a sudden sense of fear on my end and terror for the mall cops. Next place, both detectives stated. They broke away from me, moving far too quickly for two people their age. I was left alone at the food court, attempting to contemplate what to do next. Many pretty girls passed by, and I had no problem saying, "Hi, is that Diet Coke?"